Force One just landed here in the Crescent City, and President Obama has just stepped off to a seriously stacked schedule. Johnson just walked out of federal courthouse a few hours after pleading guilty to one conspiracy charge. He remains silent, refusing to give any comments on his plea. Tulane authorities encourage students to use call boxes like this one for easy access to the police department. Mayor Kip Holden says this project will not only help move rush hour traffic, but overall reduce stress for most residents in East Baton Rouge Parish. QBIG employees say they hope to see the building restored, but admit it may be difficult to relocate to a temporary facility. From staff historians to local volunteers, the museum celebrates its 12th anniversary by recognizing their contribution. LSU student Parks Vincent knows what it's like to fear for his life.
Scary almost. It's like childish, but I really don't know how else to describe it. It shocks you when you have the suspicion that someone is attempting to come back to kill you.
Vincent was one of the victims of an attempted robbery just 3 weeks ago at his apartment on State Street.
I had never experienced anything like that before in my lifetime, and it was certainly humbling, intensifying.
Although the LSU community may appear safe, LSU PD Captain Corey Lalonde says text alerts are the first line of defense to decreasing the amount of student victims.
Those are only sent out in situations where we feel there is still a continuing threat to public safety.
However, LSU criminologist Edward Shahada says he believes the text alerts have increased the fear of victimization.
When we're peppering people with information about all these victimizations, when in fact LSU is safer than the parking lot at Walmart.
Captain Lalonde says LSU PD is mandated by federal law to send out crime alerts. However, they do determine when alerts should be sent out.
We don't send out every single incident that happens on campus, and the main reason is we don't want people to become, I guess you could say, immune to it.
Yet Shahada believes that students are already immune to these alerts.
What are students actually doing on a day-to-day basis? Are they dropping into a defensive squat and running zigzag across the parking lot? If the students are going to change their behavior, and nor should they, then why are we doing this?
We want the community to know we cannot be everywhere at once.
Shahada says he understands the role of LSU PD, but believes the text alerts should be very limited to more serious incidents.
Where there's the possibility of multiple casualties and catastrophic damage, of course, you have to be alerted.
But Parks says although this university is well respected, students should think twice about disregarding any crime alerts.
The way I see it, though, is that it's better to know than not know.
For Tiger TV, I'm Ambria, Washington. Courtney Bradley has a place she can finally call home.
Any household that I lived in, it wasn't really a family-based. All of the situation, it was, drugs, alcohol, cursing, fighting, it was all of these things. So when I got to Connections for Life, it's just like a family.
Bradley says after graduating high school, she found herself behind bars for 6 months.
A couple of inmates had told me about Connections, told me it was a really good program. And, they knew I wanted to change my life.
Like Bradley, many other women struggle with trying to find somewhere to go after a period of incarceration. However, Connections for Life is a program designed to help those women go from being dependent to independent in their community.
We do that by providing a variety of different services: housing, transportation, education. We help them get a job, reconnect to family. And they stay with us for 12 months, and so during that 12 months we're working very aggressively with them.
Connections for Life Director Karen Stagg says the thrift store is the main funding for the program.
We do employ some of the women that are in the program in the store.
Stagg also says they work with a number of employers in the community that help to provide jobs for the women.
Many of the women keep the jobs beyond us, and it is very common that they get raises and bonuses and promotions. They just need the chance to be given a chance.
Stagg also says she often travels to several prisons throughout the state to find potential candidates.
Many of the women we serve have children. So when I meet a woman in prison, which is where I start the relationship, and I ask them, what are your goals? Invariably it's that I want to get my children back.
Bradley says she has been able to achieve her longtime goal after graduating from the program this past summer.
I've always wanted to go to school, obviously. Towards the end of my year, Karen actually took me to BRCC, and through every step of the way, through enrollment, admissions, financial aid.
And even though they graduate, we are named Connections for Life for a reason, because the women tend to stay connected to us.
For Tiger TV, I'm Ambria, Washington. Anita Gray has a level of confidence like no other.
You know, I took pride in the fact that I had great posture, and you know, I walked with my, you know, my shoulders back, my head up, and my chest out, and you know, I had nice legs, and I had pretty feet. It's who I am. I still feel like that inside. It's not what I am.
However, about 14 years ago, a major car accident changed her life forever.
I was rear-ended by a woman that was a non-compliant diabetic, and she passed out behind the wheel, and her car impacted mine and caused a 7-car accident.
Out of the 7 drivers, Grace says that she was the only one injured, suffering from a detached spinal cord that left her paralyzed.
The first time someone called me a paraplegic, I cried. But to be described as a paraplegic for the very first time, you know, it devastated me, you know, and then I had to regroup.
Grace says her recovery to an independent lifestyle was no easy task.
Physically, it was challenging, you know, to learn how to get dressed, how to sit upright again, practically how to feed myself. Those things were difficult, but emotionally, it was more challenging, just the acceptance.
In an effort to regroup, Gray joined the Miss Wheelchair America pageant and became the first Miss Wheelchair Louisiana in 2012, as well as its state representative.
I just began to navigate myself towards, you know, people that were experiencing the same things as I was. And it just came naturally.
Grace says she will continue to reach out to others and encourage an independent life. For Tiger TV, I'm Ambria, Washington.